Press Start Video Games.
What's up, people? Welcome to this episode of Press Start TV. My name's Will. Here we have Nine.
Hello.
Gage.
Hi.
And Sam.
Hey.
So let's talk about some Nintendo stuff. For those of you who don't know, Iwata was reelected. What do you guys think about this? I mean, I think it was a smart decision.
I think it comes as a surprise to some people.
Yeah, well, he had talked about stepping down.
Yeah, and the shareholders talked about getting him out because his approval rating went from like a 93 to a 77.
Now, what was the biggest reason?
Probably the sales of the Wii U.
Sales of the Wii U.
I'm thinking two things, really. I'm thinking Mario Kart 8, selling like crazy, boosting Wii U, and their incredible E3 lineup.
Yeah,
that they had.
that's what brought him back, of course.
That was the smartest move he could have done to save his job.
Yeah, I mean, of course, big lineup of stuff coming out. And I think Mario Kart 8 even... I think the sales numbers for the UK went up 660%.
666%.
That was a weird number.
It's a dangerous number to spout around.
The number of the devil's saving Nintendo.
Maybe that's a sign that Iwata is the devil?
Well, you got to re-elect the devil. Right?
But I mean, I think it was a good decision to do that. I think certainly when all this press comes out and they're talking about, oh, the Wii U's done, is Nintendo going to release new hardware? This kind of speculation before E3.
Right.
I mean, the sales drove down the Wii U and it was just kept getting punch after punch, and then all of a sudden Mario Kart 8 comes out.
Yeah.
I think they're
flying off the shelves.
Kicking butt.
They're over 2 million copies, I think.
It's ridiculous.
And I think you're seeing even more compared to the Xbox One and PS4, which I know have a year behind, but the Wii U's got more exclusives by I think 18 games.
Wow.
Yeah. So you see everything going to the Wii U's got a solid lineup of things, and now everyone's just finally like, oh god,
Nintendo is doing it all.
Right, like Nintendo was like that kid in high school that was just like
Zelda
really
coming. Now we got two Zeldas coming.
We're talking about two different things.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I don't remember. What were you saying?
Anyway, Nintendo's like that kid in school that was like really skinny, like everyone's just making fun of him, and he's just like, just you wait.
It's always
just
the quiet
you wait.
ones,
Yeah, and then boom, here we
ones.
go. Nintendo's back at it, and no one's like, they're like, all right.
I mean, they desperately needed Mario Kart. I think it did. I mean, there was some press out behind it. First of all, the game's great. Game's amazing.
They
I
hit
had
it
a
out
chance
of
to
the
play
park.
it.
Awesome.
But
The one problem with it, the coin shouldn't be an item. You're sitting in
what
first
is the
place.
purpose of that?
You shouldn't be an item.
What is the purpose of that?
Just to give you more coins, but I've already got 10 coins.
Yeah.
I can't do anything else with it.
What am I going to do with this?
I don't want the coin.
I hate when I get it when I'm in second place.
And I was like, well, I got to catch up to him somehow, but the coin's not going to do it.
That's a great game. It's a lot of fun. I think they desperately needed that. But as you pointed out, they did have a good E3.
They had a massive E3 lineup. Zelda. They had
Splatoon.
two Zeldas.
Two Zeldas.
Hyrule Warriors and a new open world Zelda for Wii U. And then they had that Splatoon. That they're pushing really hard. Huge boost at E3 for that.
Yeah, a whole corner dedicated.
Yeah,
to
and we didn't even get a chance to go look at it.
Nope.
It was
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker looked really good.
Yoshi's got another game.
Yoshi Woolly World, I believe is what it's called.
Captain
and Captain Toad's
Bayonetta.
I forget the name of that one. Bayonetta, packaging Bayonetta 1 with exclusive Nintendo costumes for Bayonetta in it, on top of Bayonetta 2. That's a whole lot of...
They have a home run. Like, they've done everything that they needed to do.
Did everything they could have possibly done to sell themselves out this year.
To
And
make
then,
it.
of course,
Smash Brothers on the 3DS
Brothers.
and Wii U.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, those are a lot of... people are going to be looking for things. Like Smash Brothers, and in my opinion, Smash Brothers and Zelda alone
We'll sell more consoles.
is going to be another story like Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
They're going to move consoles. Because
I'll buy a Wii U just for Zelda.
Yeah.
Just for Zelda.
And you're not the only one.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I think they'll sell like crazy, and they will move consoles because of that.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think, I know we've talked about it a lot, but I do think Smash Brothers is going to be that type of game that's a system mover as well.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah. Just because of the competitive aspect of it.
I think more people are into that. Therefore, they want other people to.
Exactly.
You want to do this. You want to do that. That kind of thing. So.
Or
And
just
now
be at home
Nintendo's
practicing,
embracing-
to the next time you and your buddies get together. You got to practice and see what, each person can do.
Right.
And I mean, Smash Brothers is the perfect fan service game, so what better way to sell anything is just with total
And
fan
Pac-Man.
service. Yeah. Pac-Man, Sonic,
Pac-Man.
Mega Man, Mario in the same game.
Yeah.
Well, awesome.
All the biggest names in gaming
Awesome.
history are in the same general area now.
Yeah, their console wars are over. Sega and Nintendo.
Nintendo
joined on
has
the same
just wiped the floor with both of them.
And then they're going to beat the crap out of each other, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Well, who's the best one? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
We
Pac-Man.
gotta find it. It's
Hands
not
down.
Pac-Man.
It's going to be
It's
Pac-Man.
not Pac-Man.
It's always Pac-Man.
It's not Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
The only two people in the world that thinks Pac-Man sitting between me.
Hey, I love the addition of Pac-Man. We'll let you guys decide for yourself once Smash Brothers comes out. What do you guys think about Zelda, though, having a multiplayer game like Hyrule Warriors? Is this going to be a popular game? Do you think people are going to just wait for the next Zelda reiteration, or are they going to wait for this game? Do they want this?
This is like, here's your appetizer. Here you go.
Yeah, I'm kind of agree with that, but at the same time, I think this will bring in a new group of players to the Zelda world. All the
New
Dynasty Warrior
generation.
players are going to want to play the Hyrule Warriors because it's built on the Dynasty Warriors engine. And I think it'll bridge a gap that hasn't been bridged yet.
Reminds me of Halo, what was it, the Wars?
Halo Wars.
Yeah,
Halo
where
Wars.
it's just a game that takes place in the universe.
Right.
In this case, Zelda.
I want to play this badly. This is my kind of Zelda game. I want just a full, fast-paced action game for Zelda. I like Zelda for the RPG elements and what it does, but I've been wanting this for a very, very long time. Ever since Ocarina of Time came out.
Are there any missions? Is it just Dynasty?
It's
I think
Dynasty
it's
Warriors.
Dynasty Warriors with the Zelda
You
skin.
played any Dynasty Warriors, you know how this
You
game's
just
gonna
beat
play.
everything to a bloody pulp.
Yeah, this is another fan service game, and I still think
agree.
it's an appetizer for Zelda on the Wii U.
But it'll be a good appetizer.
Okay, awesome, but it's just Dynasty Warriors.
What about, are they keeping the same graphical style? Because Zelda at the briefing looked a little different as far as how it is approached, and this one looks more like almost like the 64 Zelda with the graphics.
Yeah, I don't know anything
The
about
Hyrule
characters. I
Warriors
know
is more
Link's
like
got
the
a
Twilight
scarf.
Princess style
Twilight
graphics,
Princess, okay.
and
It's got a
then
scarf.
the Zelda Wii U coming out is kind of a cross between Zelda 64 and Wind Waker. The cartoony with the more realistic approach.
Now, the rumor that came out, I think it was last week, and someone had to check me on that, that the Zelda Wii U game might have
have a
multiplayer.
co-op.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard about
wonder
really
how-
cool. It could be built on like the Four Swords premise.
The coolest way they could do it is if one person plays as Link and the other person plays as the horse.
I am not playing a co-op game where I'm stuck being
You
a
go
horse.
off and graze. I'm going to do this, but when
No.
I need you,
Now-
you'll be here.
You had
they
me up to
wanna
the
do that.
coolest part, their coolest way they could do it.
That's just when I want to think of co-op Zelda. I want to think, well, what else
That's
could be the horse?
stupid.
Well,
That's not stupid.
what else would they do with a co-op? What could
Four
they
Swords. I mean, Four Swords on the Game Boy Advance was a
Just
co-op.
like puzzle solving.
Yeah, I mean, it was 4 links with 4 different.
Yeah, but
versions
you
of
don't
the
want
sword.
to, I don't think
Now,
that's
I'm
what
not
they're
saying
going
that
for.
that's what they're
Right.
going to do,
Yeah,
but that is an approach that they could branch off of.
I think that would be a mistake.
You could also have new characters. New
I mean,
story,
Assassin's
new
Creed is
characters.
doing the co-op
Maybe.
thing, and you're all the same character. You just look
You're not all the
different
same
on everybody.
character. That's not even, that's barely story based. It's only like
You're
a third.
all the same character,
you're not.
except on everybody else's screen.
No, you're not.
Everybody sees the main character in that game. But that's
It's not
another
like,
topic.
that's like Watch Dogs.
That's
how
another
Watch Dogs
topic for
works.
another game.
Just saying. But there's still a single player aspect to Assassin's Creed, and the multiplayer stuff is co-op missions that aren't necessarily.
get back to Zelda.
story-
So,
I'm just saying.
well, I mean, to recap everything, Iwata was reelected. In my opinion, it was a good decision. I
Excellent
think
decision.
they had. What are you on board with this as well?
Yeah, oh yeah. I think it's a good idea.
Gage?
yeah, I mean, why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's obvious the man knows what he's doing because he waited to play his like ace in the hole for his last final chance to
He has a
save
great
his job.
poker face.
Exactly.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we'll have more for you when we get back. All right, welcome back. So it was announced that there's another Battlefield Hardline beta coming soon. Battlefield, of course, for those of you who don't know, I'm sure everybody knows by now, but taking on a cops and robbers approach. I think they wanted to change it up. They needed to change it up. It definitely feels and plays like a Battlefield. Will it capture that as the audience, that the fans that are already there? Will it keep the fans there with the cops and robbers thing? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, they're people who are playing Battlefield are playing it for the multiplayer, and my experience with Battlefield is it feels like Battlefield 4, so they're going to play it. And hopefully no one's going to be like, well, Battlefield 4 was an unfinished product and I paid $60 for it. Why should I pay $60 for this one?
They actually
Yeah.
came out and said last week that they're very upset with how that launched.
Oh, you think?
I mean, it was
Shocking.
bad. It was bad. It was really bad. It didn't work for like 4 months, and actually
I
some
think
of
it's
it.
still not working.
A lot of people are still having a lot of issues
Yeah.
with it. But I think the cops and robbers approach was more of a visceral decision versus a DICE decision.
I agree.
Because DICE is just handling the multiplayer this time.
I'm
And
curious
that's
to
all
see.
DICE
Well,
needs
it's
to handle.
good because they haven't handled it since Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I'm
I
just
mean-
curious to see how people embrace the multiplayer with that cops and robbers thing. I mean, I'm sure it'll still be good, but
it's going to be like the Call of Duty. It's people who play the multiplayer are buying it for the multiplayer, and
Yeah.
people who want to play the campaign are buying it for the campaign. They're two separate like groups of people
I
entirely.
mean, I'll play both, but I'm not going to
I
spend
play a little
lot
bit
of
of
time
both. I prefer campaigns.
I think the
over
campaign's going to be
multiplayer.
better this time.
Visceral's handling the
Yeah.
campaign, which they did awesome with Dead Space series. So I cannot wait to see how well they change the Battlefield series.
I think it's going to be a good twist on
Well, with
the
the cops and
first-person.
robbers, they've got a lot of storyline
They
to
got
work
a lot of
with.
dirty
Yeah.
cop
I mean,
things that they could throw out
you know,
there.
they could do a lot of things modern time and, pull from history.
They could do a lot of things.
But even so, I don't think that's going to change your multiplayer experience too much because basically it's just turning in like capture the flag into capture the money. So
Well,
it's
yeah,
not like a
but they could do a cool
always about
DLC
the
like they
money.
did with
Yeah.
Vietnam on Battlefield Bad Company.
No.
They could do the 1920s mobsters
yeah
versus
maybe
cops. That would be cool
good idea.
DLC.
Yeah.
That would be cool DLC for multiplayer.
Nice.
right. But I mean the game didn't look like it was anything away from Battlefield now. So
Oh, no, it's still Battlefield.
It kind of looks like an expansion pack.
Well, it did so well in the beta that they extended it for a week the first time. So
Does that
I
mean it
think
did
they're in
well,
the
or
right
is they just
track.
wanted to fix all the bugs? That might have
No, it was doing well.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
had like a constant stream of players on it the whole time.
Sure.
And they
But
extended
why
it
do a
week.
second one?
The second one for
Yeah.
Xbox One and PC.
Okay.
Because the first one was PS4 strictly.
Yeah, you
You
got to
think
get
Well,
just
those
no,
as
PC,
PC and
players.
PS4.
Don't forget about us.
It was on
And
PC.
you gotta beta test all networks to be fair.
So
Good.
Battlefield
It's gonna be
is
fair.
looking good. We'll see how it holds up once it comes out. It does look fantastic though. Speaking first-person shooter, sticking with that, it was announced recently that Destiny is coming in with a T rating.
Surprising.
A little bit surprising, yeah. Definitely, the Halo. Of course, this game's produced by Bungie. The Halo has a mature rating.
Every one of them's had a
Every
mature rating,
single
I think. Which is, in a way, surprising itself. Because Halo's not really a mature game. You don't have the language. You don't have as much like.
There's a little bit of language,
human
but not
blood or
like
anything.
F-bombs everywhere like
Yeah, I
in
mean-
Battlefield.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not comparable to Call of Duty as
Yeah.
rating wise.
But I always thought that the mature rating came because of the fact that it had guns and you were firing
Violence
and all that kind of
and,
stuff.
Or even I thought 'cause
that's
you're
what it
killing
originally
other
started out
people
with was
online
violence.
and stuff.
I mean,
Maybe
Mortal Kombat set the
killing
standard
aliens is okay.
Yeah.
really for
Oh yeah, it's like
every
killing
game.
zombies is okay because they're not people.
They're not real people.
Yeah,
They're
zombies, you gotta
virtual
kill 'em.
zombies that
They
have no
gotta
feelings.
die. They need to
Exactly.
die.
We know you like zombies, Will. We know you like zombies, Will.
They need to die again. Anyway, so yeah, it came up with a T rating. Destiny. It looks that this game I think is going to be one of the biggest games. I'm so happy to that they're spending time on a co-op experience like that. I think that's really going to be what people are into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they came out and tried to clear up that they're not actually spending $500 million on their marketing and all that good stuff. So it's like that's just ridiculous to even think about.
That's crazy.
THQ made that mistake with Homefront. They're not gonna make
THQ
that
made a
mistake.
bunch of mistakes.
Let's
Yeah.
not talk
So
about it.
they're rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, THQ.
Okay, changing gears a little bit. It was for you Temple Run fans out there. It was announced that Forrest Gump is getting his own version of Temple Run.
Actually, in New Zealand, he already has his
He's
own
already
version.
out.
Why'd they get it first?
Because it was developed in New Zealand.
Don't care. I want
What,
it
you think
now.
Americans should always be first?
Yeah, our
that
birthday's
sounds a
coming
little
up.
prejudice there, buddy.
So
So
I'm just curious. It's going to be running the same saying over and over again as you keep
Run,
it.
Forrest, run.
Yeah, I don't want.
Run, Forrest, run. Every time you
I
pick
can
up a
get,
gold
if I can get
coin,
like a Forrest Gump
that's what it's gonna
soundboard
say.
to go along like on the side of the phone.
Oh, that'd be
while I'm playing
awesome.
it, yeah, that would be cool because I don't want to just hear Run, Forrest, Run because obviously that's the one. but
Life's like a
I
box
wanna
of
hear.
chocolates.
I want to hear Magic Legs a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Just
Lieutenant Dan, you
all
got
that
your legs
good
back.
stuff. You know, 'cause
And then
that's
he has
a
Lieutenant Dan
horrible
should be an
movie.
unlockable character.
Yeah, and
With a
then-
wheelchair or with,
With a
his magic
wheelchair
legs?
and with legs. Magic legs.
I don't want skins for Lieutenant Dan.
Why not?
and then he's got like a stamina bar.
Pre-war, post-war, and post-surgery.
No, he's got like a stamina bar. Once he gets tired, he goes, "I'm pretty tired."
Yeah. There you go.
Alcohol.
All right.
Anyway, looks good. We'll see.
I'll play it.
I'm sure a lot of people will download that just because his name's attached to it.
And it's free.
Also, of course, we have our Press Start TV channel on YouTube.
Which is probably why you're watching this now.
Hopefully.
That's what we're watching.
YouTube announced that they're going to 60 frames per second.
Yeah, they're going. I think
That's
they're starting
awesome.
with games, Titanfall and Battlefield.
I'm not sure.
First-
I haven't.
something
I
like
just
that.
heard they were doing 60 frames.
Probably should
which
have read the
just
article
kinda-
a little bit. I saw the headline.
Yeah.
But they're starting with games are going for 60 frames per second, and you can up the speed on some videos in there,
Right.
which will pull that out. So that's exciting for
Very
people
exciting.
who are doing Let's Plays and capturing videos and things like that.
Which you can check
And
all
live
that out
streaming.
on our
because
website
live streaming is
Yeah.
a big key.
and our YouTube channel.
yeah.
Yep, our videos. Check them out, please. Along with the tip jar for YouTube. which
Yeah,
is
that was
interesting.
announced as well. I
Yeah.
think that's good. It's kind of like pretty much that's it. So, hey, you're doing a good job, or we're trying to raise money for whatever, and they introduced that on.
It's a new way to monetize your channel, which is good.
We have a virtual jar that you can put money in, and you should put the money in.
And like us.
And like
Yes,
us.
like, subscribe, and donate all your money. We do, so you should.
So yeah, I think that's good. Now, I think a lot of people, again, with competitive gameplay on the rise, and a lot of people posting their videos, and people that want to watch more gameplay footage, that's just going to be a pretty important thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a tactic to try and compete with Twitch, really. Twitch and Ustream.
Well, that the rumor that
The rumor is that
was
YouTube
gonna
and
buy
Twitch are trying to
like
work
month
out a
ago.
deal.
Yeah.
But I think this is their, hey, if we can do it, we can take them over. So
You're like, Twitch, this could have been
look,
you.
this could have been you, buddy, but
There you are.
now we got $90 billion and you only got 5.
You know?
So
Well, we'll see how it plays out. All right, guys, we'll have more for you when we get back. All right, so we're going to be talking about some fighting games. In fact, we're going to be talking about the best fighting games, in our opinion. There's so many fighting games out there. Fighting games as a genre has kind of gone up and down. I think originally in the arcade days, that was the type of game that drew the biggest crowds. I remember
And
when
most controversy.
Oh man, Street Fighter 2 came out in the arcade, and there was people used to put your quarters on the screen, say I got next, and that's how you knew.
they even actually had like trays on the machines for people to line their quarters up for next in line on original arcade machines. It was nuts.
I think that was the biggest launch, but not to be outdone. Games like Mortal Kombat, I mean, just one of the best fighting games ever. So we're going to talk about what we think is the best fighting game out there, in our opinion. It's a little tough for me right now. I'm kind of on the fence, but there are a ton out there. Sam, we'll start with you. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, the series in general, or just
Just
one in
no,
particular?
in general,
Okay.
from beginning to end, like best one ever.
Why Smash Brothers? Yeah.
Because you can, it's cartoony yet still like family friendly, and yet you still feel like you're getting somewhere. Like, I just like the aspect of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can play as whatever character you want, and for the most
Especially with
part.
the new one.
Yeah, with the new
yeah.
one.
There's so many characters in the new one.
And even probably more coming later with the amiibo stuff.
We don't have the full roster yet.
Well, I know we don't, because
And
Falcon's not on it.
I think there's a lot of strategy involved with a game like Smash Brothers, because each character has so many different moves. You got so much more to explore, and that's why games like Mortal Kombat, you started to see more and more characters, because people that like the game would like to get really good at each character, with each character.
And I'll agree with Sam, but I'm kind of going more specific. One of mine is Super Smash Bros. Melee, which seems to be the most popular one of the series. And I think that's because of the speed, mainly. Even more so that there's a mod out for the Wii now for Project M for Melee players to have more of a brawl experience too. I haven't played it, but it's pretty
Well,
sweet.
and they're supporting the GameCube controller. So many people discovered Smash Brothers on the GameCube, and it just took off. It just
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing it back on the 64, which thinking
That
back on
controller
it.
is just atrocious.
Yeah, I can't go back and play it now because I'm like, one joystick? What am I doing here? What's my
Three
other thumb
handles,
doing?
one
Yeah.
joystick. What's going on?
I can't. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
Not anymore. It's not. So Super Smash Bros. Melee is one of my top ones, and I'm not good at it, but I'll play against anybody. I'll beat you.
How about you?
I see. I'm on the fence a little bit. I thought I was gonna go Mortal Kombat, but then I remember the Soul Calibur series and
Soul Calibur, yeah.
Soul Blade.
Soul Blade.
Originally Soul Blade. on
You guys are pulling from my
PlayStation.
list over here. Soul
But,
Blade.
Yeah.
I like Soul Calibur 1 a lot.
Soul Calibur 1 was great.
A lot of hours in that on Dreamcast.
Dreamcast.
And that was the first game I had for Dreamcast, and
Still looks good.
I made so many of my own combos in that game that my friends were just like, "You play this way too much."
Oh, man.
I'm like, "It's the only game I got, guys.
Yeah.
Got to do something."
Yeah.
Gotta play it. I mean, Soul
Gotta
Blade
play
was
it.
the first fighting game I played on my PlayStation. So I didn't
Right.
have the Dreamcast. I wasn't lucky enough to Dreamcast. So my PlayStation was all spent on Soul Blade, and I was like 10, so maybe a little too young for it. Didn't really understand what was going on. Just a little bit.
I mean,
Self-esteem,
there's
probably
a
shouldn't have
ton
seen
of
some of that stuff.
fighting games that are out there. I mean, I'll try to remember a bunch of them. Obviously, there's Marvel vs. Capcom.
Great
There's the
game.
King of Fighters series. There's the
Virtual
Virtual Fighters series.
Tekken.
There's Tekken.
Love Tekken too.
There's on the Sega Saturn a game called Fighting Vipers. I really enjoyed that one. I was a big fan of that. The list goes on
Dead
and
or
on.
Alive.
The Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
Is a great series.
These games have been around
For ages.
for ages, and you're seeing the new Smash Brothers games coming out this year, and then Mortal Kombat 10
Mortal
next
Kombat
year.
10
Which looks great.
good.
Which looks, I mean, I've got some first problems with it, but I mean that's
I know
something
You
so-
always have problems.
yeah, I always have problems, but they shouldn't be using Unreal 3 when Unreal 4 is available.
I agree with
sorry,
that.
It,
It must have been.
it's frustrating.
I wonder
It
why.
had to have been cost effective.
Right.
That's the only thing I can come up with.
But it does look awesome. It looks really good.
Looks really, really good.
and one of the Gnan's characters is kind of cool, Cassie Cage.
Cassie
Yeah.
Cage,
Cassie
I was
Cage.
so excited. As soon as I saw that, I was like, she's got to be some kind of mashup between Johnny Cage and Sonya. And boom!
And then there it was.
She's their
She is
daughter,
their
which
daughter.
was just awesome.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see both of them in the game though, alongside?
I think one of them is deceased.
Just
I'm going with Johnny, just because I don't like
say it
Johnny.
So.
I don't like Johnny, and Sonya's a cop. She has been defending herself since the early days of Mortal Kombat. So,
I think you see Johnny in the game over Sonya. Because
Zombie Johnny,
not zombie Johnny.
like Zombie Liu Kang.
No.
What are we talking about?
Mortal Kombat.
So, it's hard to put it down into just one series. There's each one of those series has developed fans for different reasons, whether it's difficulty, whether it's strategy. I mean, again, fighting games, from a competitive standpoint, has really taken off as well. There's some people that just play nothing but this
Just fighting
game.
games. They have the fight sticks. They sit in their room and they're just like.
They
"All right, I've
build
got it
their
done."
fight
Yeah.
sticks.
Are we a
to
fan
fit
of the fight
different-
sticks? Does this change the dynamic?
I
of
don't.
the
I mean,
fighting
I don't get too competitive in the fighting games myself, and I don't use them.
I prefer a fight stick, like
Okay.
an old arcade stick. I don't want to build my own because I don't have that time or patience. But I'll buy if I see that one is coming out with it, like Mortal Kombat 10. I'm sure we'll have a PS4 and Xbox One fight stick
You hope so.
bundle.
Yeah.
I will buy that bundle because
Okay.
I would rather fight with a fight stick like an arcade than try and use a wonky D-pad.
What about Injustice? There's no
Justice was great.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I mean, just because it's the DC stuff.
It's,
you know?
it's Batman versus Superman. I mean, it's the fight everybody wants to do.
And it's the fight I did 100 times. Guess who won 100 times?
Superman.
Nope. That's a stupid mistake.
He
Batman
should
every
win,
time.
but only reason he doesn't is because Batman's super smart.
Batman carries kryptonite. Sorry. He beat Superman.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just saying.
That's a debate for a whole nother.
You want to talk about it?
No. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll do an Injustice Let's Play. Batman versus Superman. I'll be Superman, you be Batman.
Done.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
jeez.
right, you will be done.
Anyway,
So yeah, like I said, just tons of different fighting games. If we had to pick one, we can try to pick an all-time overall best fighting game. In your opinion, what do you got? As of right now.
you went home to play a fighting game. What is it?
If I was going to go home and play a fighting game,
Yeah.
I could only play one.
But not. You have a limitless supply of fighting games at your house.
If I had
Any-
every single fighting game at home and I had to pick just one to play, I would probably go with the original Marvel vs. Capcom.
Okay.
It's hard to find, for one, and it's so good.
Okay, Gage.
Mine's Super Smash Bros. Melee. I mean, I can just sit there and play that game over and over and not get tired of it. So.
I'm going to have to go with the original Smash Brothers
On 64.
on 64.
Nice.
Go back to old school.
It's such an awful controller, though.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's
For me, I'll keep it arcade style. I mean, I had some of my best experiences on Street Fighter 2. It was just a great game, and if I had to pick one as of right now, that would be the game.
Which
But
character do you use?
I was about to ask the same thing.
I like
Honda.
E Honda.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Anyway, okay, so that's all we have for you for this episode. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys soon.